Okay. Okay, hi everybody, and welcome to week 6 of Team Heart United. I'm going to be speaking this evening on understanding people so they can increase your sales. My name is G Fletcher and I'm Elite Pro 7 here on the Sunshine Coast. I've been with the company nearly 2 years, which is super exciting. And yeah, have seen such huge changes in the business, but all for the better. So for all you new distributors, I'd love to welcome you this evening. I hope that you're all able to get on here, and please shout if you've got any questions or feeling that you don't know what's really going on and things like that. I'm sure your person that enrolled you has tried to launch you, but if you haven't even seen anything yet or you want to get started, I really encourage you to actually go into Team Heart United. We've got lots of training videos in there, and we can let you know, we can let you know about all the training that's going on in there. So announcements, we're going to go through some compliance, some current promos, and up-and-coming events. So compliance, what can we say about Protandim? The TGA, which is Therapeutic Goods Australia, have listed all the benefits about Protandim. And you can find these on www.tga.gov.au. Now, some of the things that they have said is it supports energy, sleep, stress, anxiety, digestion, liver tonic, and immune system. So if you want to go there, please go into that website and you can see it for yourself. So starting next week, we will not be doing any videos. We will not be doing announcements on our training. We'll actually be doing it as a separate video, which will go for 5 minutes, approximately every week on in Team Heart United. So there won't be announcements here, so that our training will actually be a bit shorter, so we can just dive straight in. So some of the current promos, February and March, new Pro 4 and Pro 5, the cash bonuses. Also, if you've been inactive for 6 months as a Pro 4, you can go active again. You can earn that bonus. And we also have the pay setter as well. So if you don't know how this works, it's really great if you get to Pro 2 and whatever your promo, your rank was 31 January is what you actually are going into 1 February. So it doesn't matter what you were before then. So it's a really great way to go to Pro 2 and earn $100 US. You can maintain it. And the same happens if you go to Pro 3, you can get 250 US. We have actually done a training on this, and that's in Team Heart United. So please shout if you don't know where it is or you need help, just come and let me know. Myself and Una are going to be doing training this Wednesday night as an online Zoom. So I'd love to invite anybody onto that. And this Tuesday, there is actually an opportunity meeting in Sydney in a physical form. So myself and Una are online this Wednesday, and I will have that up in the LifeVantage events. And also, this is all the training that we've got coming up. This is really a must, guys. The Brisbane training is with Cortland. Amazing, amazing man, Vice President. He's coming over to see us all of Global Field. And then we have our Chief Marketing Officer, Ryan, and Charlotte. So that's Brisbane, Melbourne, and Sydney. So please take notes of this. It is actually in LifeVantage events as well. But I would like to say as well that we have got some really great distributor-only promotions that are going to be on, and you can only avail of them if you're at that training. So I really encourage you guys to come to the training. Ryan's really going to be sharing about biohacking, and Cortland's really going to be sharing about the vision of the company. So it's a real must to get there. So please pop that in your diaries. And this is where you can find out about it all. It's in LifeVantage Australia events. And this is where you can register your guests. So now I would love to introduce our mover and shaker, Maricel Inigo. She is a Pro 4 from Sydney. This lady, seriously, she has just become a mum again to her 3rd little baby. So now she has 3 very small little babies. And this lady, talk about having no time. She was working as a marketing director, I think it was, in Sydney for Telstra. Really busy.
I wouldn't go that far, G.
Okay.
I'm a GM for Telstra marketing team.
Okay, so that's still pretty impressive, very impressive. And I must say, you look really gorgeous considering that you've got a newborn. I look pretty shocking, I think, for the first few months. So, look, I just wanted, I've always admired you. I love how you are with your team. I love the growth that I've seen you have. Plus, you know, you've won a trip to the Bahamas and you were 8.5 months, nearly 9 months. I think you went over, like, you know, 9 months pregnant, still tapping away on the computer at 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock at night sometimes. I would see this amazing woman on there. So I just love if you could share a little bit about you and why you got involved in LifeVantage, what you saw that excited you about this company, because you were earning good money, you know, so it wasn't really the money. Like, just share with us why you got involved.
Well, first of all, I can't say no to my beautiful cousin Myra. I bumped into her at the station one night. I was working late. I was exhausted, and she was a fireball of energy. And I suppose she was very different to how I remembered her a couple of months ago. And so it's really because of her transformation that gave me belief in the product. But I suppose it didn't take her a lot of convincing to get me into this business, because I think I've always had a business head. I love property. I invested in my first property when I was 22, so I very much understand the importance of building residual passive income. And so it's something that it was just another way. This business is another way to do that. And it's even better, actually, because with property, you have to fork out a lot of money. Mm-hmm. You don't make money until you sell the property or pay it off, and that's when you start making residual income. With this company, I was able to stop working the business while I was giving birth, and I didn't really do much at all throughout December and January, but the money kept coming in. So it's just amazing. It's just proof that this business works. So
what kind of product story did you have that you were sharing with everyone? Because I have so many people that say, well, I need to wait for my own product story. And I say, well, sometimes you may not even get one. You know, it works, but you may not get one. So what kind of a product story did you have?
Well, the only product story that I really had was Myra's story, because I started this business too far into my pregnancy that I sort of wasn't keen on starting on Protandim until I had given birth to Aston Rose. So I've just been on the product for the last 2 months. So I don't think you need a story. We have enough stories on Activate. I talked about what it did to my cousin and people at work, the people that started Protandim very early on when I started this business, started seeing results from, their first month. So you don't need a personal story. I'm pretty healthy myself, so I'm not banking on a transformational story of my own. I do sleep better. I have recovered really quickly with this third. I think that's all I can say about the product and Protandim personally.
So how were you sharing it? Like, you work full time, 2 small little kids, one on the way. So it's not like you're at the gym, you're like 6-7 months pregnant. So how were you sharing? How did you end up sharing about this? Because you grew to Pro 4, like you grew a really good team fairly quickly. So how did you do this? Where did you find people?
I just used every opportunity. So as a GM in marketing, I am in meetings every day, at least, 5 to 10 meetings a day. And previous to LifeVantage, I'd say, the downtime before a meeting starts and everyone's on their phones, ignoring one another and just waiting for the meeting to start. I took that as an opportunity to ask people questions about how their day was going. What are you doing on your holidays? What are you working on? How are you feeling? And people start saying, oh, I feel really sick. I'm trying to get over this cold. I'm saving up for a holiday. It just, sky's the limit. Any conversation, LifeVantage the business or Protandim the product, it's easy to mention.
So did you predominantly lead with the business? Like, what would you say? Because these people would have been earning really, really big money, these people. So it's not like they really needed the money.
No, they corporate pays well. So a lot of people do earn really good money, but they also sacrifice time for that money, and the company owns you. And a lot of people do need a backup plan, because working 10, 12 hours a day is not sustainable. And you just need to, a lot of people are aware that they need something else, because it's not something that you can sustain for a long period of time.
So how would you bring the business into a conversation? Because I know you said to me something today and I thought, oh, that's a bit clever. So how would
being pregnant and going on mat leave was like a lot of people would say, are you ready for a year off? What have you got planned? And it was, I would just mention that I've actually started a business on the side in preparation for maternity leave. Hopefully I won't have to come back full time in a year's time. And then that would spark more questions, and it's all in the follow-up. So can I send you some information? Let's talk after this meeting. Let's catch up for drinks later. I can't drink, but you can. And I also use my farewell email as a good opportunity to pretty much spam the whole of Telstra to say, hey, I'm going, but keep in touch. Here are my details, and if you're interested, let's connect on Facebook. I got a few customers asking me about the product after that email.
Fantastic. So basically you were able to win your trip to the Bahamas, become a Pro 4. You've got a team now that loves you. How did you find being able to go on maternity leave? Because normally people kind of go, oh my gosh, who's going to look after these people? But what was the support like? How did you feel? Did it start to feel like a bit like, wow, this is kind of like creating some financial freedom here. The money's coming in and I'm getting to enjoy it.
Yeah, that's when I really felt it. I was a bit worried about switching off, but I had no choice. I was having a baby and getting used to breastfeeding again, which is a nightmare as always. But Sandra, Kim, Myra, they were all there. Everyone, they had my back, and it just kept going. You can actually take the time off that you need and have your business continue.
Yay! So now baby's kind of sleeping and you're back on board, and we're going to see more moving and shaking, and I'm going to see you this weekend. So thank you so much, Marisol.
Looking forward to Simon Chan this weekend.
You are an amazing little pocket rocket, this lady is. And watch out. I can see lots of things happening with this woman. this time, this year, having this year off. Maybe you won't have to go back to Telstra at all.
Fingers crossed. Well, at least not full time anyway. And don't tell anybody.
Only people. Thanks, Maricel.
Thank you.
Okay. Can you mute that? Yeah. Okay, so tonight's training is myself. So my name is G. Fletcher, and I'm going to be talking about how to understand people, how you can attract, so you can attract distributors, but also convert customers into your business. So have you ever wondered why you get on with certain people? You know, you go to a party and you walk in and there's just this bang, instant energy attraction with somebody. And hopefully it's not a man and you're married. But you know what I mean? Like you walk in and suddenly you just get on with somebody. You're like, geez, I feel like I've known you all my life. Just so easy, so attractive. And then there's other times and you're just like, oh, I just feel like I am in thick, murky water here. It's just not fun. There's just no flow. I seem to be saying the wrong things. It's just not working right. So would you like to know how you could maybe change this and become that you can talk to everybody? So we can't change who we are, but we can change how we speak to people by understanding who they are. So seek first to understand others, then you will be understood. So tonight, we're going to look at, there's lots of different personality type things out there, and different organizations have different ones. And I did look at the disc, which we had with Nikki Kia Hahu at our academy, but I also love Danny Johnson's descriptions. And I was reading this week and I thought, you know what, I really do like how she does it. So I want this to be a little bit interactive in a minute. I want everyone to have a look at what I put up, and I'd love you to share what you think you are. So there's 4 personality types. Now, you know, there is more, but for this purpose, we're just going to say 4. So each gem has its own strength and quality. You know, once it's all cleaned up, you know, most of them look ugly and dirty to start off with, but they're all unique and beautiful in their own rights. And they've all got their own characteristics. And it's not to say that any one is better than the other, or anyone is better to even have in your business. Everyone, to have all of them would be an amazing foundation in your business. So a lot of people have 2 personality types, but they tend to lead with one in particular and followed by the other gem. So if we have a look here, I would love in the chat, if you can have a look, let's say rubies is R, and sapphire is S, emerald is E, and pearl is P. So to think of a ruby, they are extremely visionary. They are task-orientated, goal-driven, pioneers. They really, they're quite in control though, and they like getting work done, not afraid of being the first, and like being the first. And then you've got sapphires who are a lot more outgoing. They love the fun. They love the people. You can see here that on this side, there's people-orientated who they lead basically with their heart. And these are network marketers. And then you've got pearls, and these people love serving people. They love helping people. To actually give is the biggest thing for them. And then you've got emeralds. Man, these people want the facts. They want the facts. They want the figures. They want the science. They want the research. They don't get excited with people's hype. They're like, show me the money, or show me the stats. So they really need a lot of convincing, and they're probably the hardest people to get in, but when you got them in, man, you've got them for life. And they're an amazing, so I'd love to have a look. Let's see what we've got in here in the chat. Is everyone writing in what they think they are? Yes, keep going. I'd love to see what kind of people we have. Emerald and a pearl, sapphire, yes. Ruby, yeah, well, that's kind of me as well, Becca. I reckon I'm a sapphire ruby. And so, yeah, just keep putting it in, guys, because it's really interesting to see a pearl, sapphire, definitely pearl and sapphire. That's a really good, most of my friends are pearls, And I would say I'm a sapphire / ruby, but I'm a pearl as well. But I love people. People are my things. I am definitely not an emerald, but my husband is. I reckon God's got this funny sense of humor where he puts the outgoing person with the facts and figures person. So yes, so lots of 2s. Yes, love it. Sapphire with a bit of pearl, great. So a ruby. Who is a ruby? Let's have a look. A ruby, there's 15% of the population that are these. So they're really the life leaders. Their strengths are that they are visionaries, they're risk takers, they're very determined people, they're self-reliant. If you get one of these people, man, just let them run, because that's what they're going to do anyway. Don't try and hold them back. Everyone would love a ruby. Hardworking, they love getting the job done, they're an extrovert, and they're a pioneer, and they're a problem solver. Weaknesses, they're quite controlling. They can get a bit angry with people sometimes because people don't do what they want them to do, or they don't do it on time. Very self-reliant, so they don't like asking for help. They can be a little bit authoritative, but you know, sometimes you need these qualities to get something done. But then they can actually be really quite hard on themselves. And they suffer depression and anxiety, a lot of them can, because they're in very stressful kind of roles. A lot of the time they're MDs, CEOs, self-employed entrepreneurs. So how would you communicate with a Ruby customer? They want direct answers. They don't want you to send them a huge email. They don't want a huge thing. They don't want to be formed all the time. They do not want you to ask them about their family, what they're doing for an occupation. They're like, cut to the chase. I just want to know what this can do for me. That's all they wanted to know at the start. So as a customer, they won't really want to know that much about their family and things. They'll be wanting to know how it can help with their energy, their sleep, their stress, their anxiety. They don't want to be bombarded with information. They just want to know, is this going to be able to help them? Yes or no? No. The money isn't going to be an issue. Most of the time they have got really good jobs. So they will like that it's groundbreaking, it's new to the market, that there is PubMed, there's 23 peer-reviewed studies, so that the science was there. They would like to know that it's quick as well. So we can say in America, the oxidative stress is reduced by 40% in 30 days. We can increase your antioxidants, your body does, by 300% in 120 days. So they like to see results and that there is proven facts that this works. So, and they will also like to know that it's 1 pill a day. So I would actually ask them, you know, what would you like me to send you? Is a 9-minute ABC video, would you watch that? They may want something a bit more modern. So I may send them the NRF1. So I would actually ask them what they would like and whether they would listen to that. And I wouldn't tend to send them something that's a half hour or 40 minutes. I don't know if they will ask, unless they've seen this and then they want more information. So how would you communicate with a Ruby distributor? Because look, if you can get a Ruby distributor, whoa, like they're going to be your runner. They're just going to take off. You know, I believe Charlotte is a Ruby. You know, they're just going to go. They just want to lead. It's in their nature. They don't want somebody to lead them. So the things that are going to really attract them is that they're pioneering product. They like being first to the market. They would like to know that, let's say you're in Sydney, to say to them that there is about 8 to 10 or whatever, you know, distributors, or 15 distributors, whatever else there is in Sydney. Like that to them is going to really excite them. To somebody else, it might scare them, but these people would find that as a huge opportunity because they want to be the best. They want to be the best and they want to be first. Groundbreaking, science-backed. It's a $200 million startup. All these things they're going to really, really enjoy hearing. They will want to speak to your leader. So I would be putting them in front of somebody ASAP. Now, you've just got to work out when you're speaking to somebody who is going to be the best person to put them in front of somebody. It may be Charlotte. It may be me. It may be Una. Whoever it is, you need to think about who is the best person for that three-way, because that's one of your big chances to get it right. So none of us mind who you pick, just as long as you have a gut feeling that, yeah, I think that person's going to be the person. They are quite controlling and will want it done their way. So you let them fly and you offer support where they need it. They are driven by money and being in control and being a leader. So this whole entrepreneur working for yourself really appeals to them. Their weakness a lot of the time is time. They normally don't have any. So offering them support and showing them how they can fit this in their busy schedule, and showing them that you are there to maybe help with some of the administrative work or whatever it is. You're there to help them, get started quickly, is really going to appeal to them. And they will really want to see that compensation plan. So the next one is Sapphire. Now, I believe I'm a Sapphire, but I've definitely got Ruby in me too. So these are born promoters. Now, the strengths are they're an ideas person, they're extroverted, they're fun, they're an encourager, they're a motivator, they're optimistic, they're friendly, they really like people. Like, I really like people. I'm a visionary and popular. So one thing that is their biggest strength is that the whole people side, but they've got weaknesses. And sometimes it is rejection. I've kind of got really good with this now, but I'm nearly 50 this year and I'm just kind of conquering that part. So they need recognition. I've got a lot better with that as well. Disorganized, work in progress there. Not detailed, got a lot better. And they don't like isolation. That is true. I love to meet people. I love going to meetups. I don't like just sitting at my desk, this working from home and not interacting with people. So being on a Zoom, I love. So when people say to me, oh, I thought you'd be really busy for a three-way, I'm like, you're joking. I love three-ways. Put me in front of somebody all day and I will share my story and I will share about LifeVantage because I love it. It really excites me. So what are they? They are network marketers, or they're promoters, they're sales, they're in the people industry. So how do you communicate with a Sapphire customer? So they love positivity, high energy, they love you to talk fast. They're interested in knowing that it helps people with maybe energy and stress and maybe sleep, because they often have problems sleeping. Don't give them too much science unless they really ask for it though. They don't like being bombarded with the science. They're like, meh, bored. So they just like to know that it will help people. And they'll go with their gut. So they don't really need to see a lot of the science. They're very open and they're a salesperson's dream. My husband says to me all the time, they must have wished for you to arrive today, because I'm always like, I'll give it a go. And that is what they will normally say, I'll give it a go. So I would get them into that Activate group. If you know any Sapphires, get them into the Activate group as soon as possible. Mention that they can add people in there as well and show them how to add and tag people, because they're born network marketers. This might be your aunt, it might be your grandmother, and even as a customer, I'll be mentioning the loyalty program to them and encouraging them to tell their families and friends, because they love people and they want to help people. And if they know they can help people, maybe get a little bit, a product paid for or something for them, they will really be into it. So communicating with a Sapphire distributor, they would love to go out for lunch or have a coffee. Or if they're far away, jump on a Zoom. There are definitely more people persons. So having a 5-minute phone call isn't probably going to work for them as much. They're not going to feel your enthusiasm. born network marketers, so they genuinely love people, so they will want to hear, you know, how it's changed people's lives. If they believe in the opportunity, they will tell the world. So you need to build belief in them. Ask them what next they would like from you, not long emails. They don't like long emails. They love recognition and they love incentives. So mentioning our incentive trips and trips they can win. And they're big ideas people. So they love you to paint a picture of what their life could maybe look like in 3 years' time. And we've got to be very realistic, but some people love to see the bigger picture. Rubies and sapphires love to see that. Now, pearl and emerald, it's not going to cut it for them. Could send one of them into major anxiety. So really start to look at the person that you're looking at. Mention that they get to work with whoever they want, so they could bring all their besties in to work with them. Tell them lots of stories about the product as well as the business. They love stories. Tell them you can help them with the organization part and that there's lots of support there for them. And they will want to know that we lead with love and have charities and we make a difference in the world. So the pearls, who are our beautiful pearls? Well, there's 35% of the population. And I know we have tons of pearls in our group. I love pearls. Most of my closest friends are pearls. Because they love people and they're really life's helpers. So their strengths is they're trustworthy, they're loyal, they're kind, patient, thoughtful, caring, friendly, sympathetic. This is Una, by the way. Una's a pearl. They're nurses, they're holistic practitioners, they're teachers, they're life coaches. Some of the weaknesses, though, they can be shy, they can be a procrastinator, indecisive, and they can have some self-esteem issues, and they're life's hoarders. Now, that's not for all, because I know Una isn't really like that. And they ask a lot of how questions. They're all about the people. How is this going to help the world? How is it? So they will like the science as well. So communicating with a Pearl customer, they don't like the hype. They would rather an appointment maybe near them, depending on which pearl they are. There can be, you know, a pearl/sapphire person, but then, you know, there can be a pearl that's quite quiet, very reserved. So you will get to know whether they're that shy or not. They don't tend to talk facts and figures. The facts and figures and, you know, the money side of it isn't going to be the big draw card for them. So don't really come across trying to paint a big picture of how much money they could earn. It's more going to be what a difference they can make in the world, because that's what they want to be. So on what difference they can help with their family, especially being a customer. So tell them how it helps them and how it helps their loved ones. Share lots of the benefits with them. Please don't come across salesy, just come across excited that you want to share something with them. So I know, and we'll talk about this in the distributor side actually in a minute with pearls. So I would get them again into the Activate group as soon as possible. Start tagging them in lots of the stories. They love to be listened to because they are the listener. So if you listen to them, that's not what a lot of people do, because they give and give and give all the time. So it's really nice for them to be listened to. And they genuinely do love people and they want to help as many people as possible. So encourage them to add people again into the Activate group. And they may want to see some of the signs, especially if they're a nurse or a health practitioner. So ask them, what would you like from me? I can send you as much information as you like, but what is it that you really need now? Would you like to watch a video? Would you like me to show you how you can go on PubMed? Would you like to see a highlighted study, peer-reviewed study that was done on NRF2? So ask them what they would like. So communicating with a Pearl distributor. Again, make an appointment near them where they feel confident. If they're a health practitioner, they will probably be working for themselves. So yeah, go and try and make an appointment. I spoke with a girl in one of the other teams, and she's got lots of small business health practitioners. There are energy healers and kinesiologists that are working in her team. And I said to her, you know, how do you come across and basically tell them about Protandim? Do you cold call them? And she said, I cold call, but if I know someone who's been into them, I'll say, oh, blah, blah, recommended I speak to you. I would love to come over and share with you something that has really excited me and which is changing a lot of people's lives. And that's it. Because when you get in front of them, that's when you can really show them Protandim and really talk to them about the true science and Protandim and what it's done for people. So she says as little over the telephone as possible. She just said, I would love to come and see you and share some ideas with you of something that's come across into my life that's super exciting and nobody really knows about it. So talk to them about helping to and that it will really help their patients. Talk to them about helping to change the health world as we know it. They are motivated by a cause rather than money. But what I have found with them, that if you get a check coming in, they suddenly can start dreaming again about, and they can start, you need to actually really show them a little bit of the bigger picture in that you will support them. So when it comes, they actually just see Protandim in their clinic, and if they have a small clinic and they're thinking, oh, okay, so I can sell maybe 10 Protandims a day. And we've just got to gently, and that might be what they need to do to start with, but and then they start getting a check coming in, and then they're like, wow, this actually is starting to work. It works. And I didn't really have to do much for that check. It's starting to come in. So then they start getting their belief in this industry, and then they're thinking, wow, what if I can do this? And that's when you can start basically expanding their vision of how they could help so many more than just the 8 people that they see every day. How they can actually help thousands of people once you're alongside them, helping them to actually introduce it to other health practitioners. And when they can actually see that, and that they're actually helping more people, and they've seen that the products are working, and they've seen the science, they often do need to wait to get a couple of their clients' stories. But when they've got them, they start to become really excited about network marketing and the potential and the possibility. And then it's only so that they can make money to give money away. I mean, that's what I've always said. I want to make millions so I can give millions away. That's been my mantra forever. That's how we approach Rachel. And that's my heart. But to say millions to them might freak them out. That excites me. They just may want to just help one person. So you've just got to be gentle with pearls. Tell them up front that you will support them. I know that this girl, and she's taken it upon herself, but she said, you know what, I'm a really organized, diligent person. And most of these pearls that she's got who are holistic people aren't on Facebook. A lot of them don't even really have a computer. And if they have, they certainly don't really know how to use it. So she actually puts in all the orders even for them. Now, I know that's not a duplicatable system, but hey, you use what you have until you get what you want. So if you've got 2 practitioners that are like, hey, I've got a ton of people, and if you can help me, sure, I'll sign up. Well, I would do it. So you've got to really work out what it is that you're willing to do to help these pearls. You wanted to share with them, I would speak to them about sharing an idea that you think will help lots of people. That will really appeal to them. Ask them, would they like to see a doctor's video, and maybe send them the Mark Gordon or else the Angela Pascoe, the chiropractor. She's really beautiful. I would say she's a pearl. So I would probably send Angela Pascoe. And if you don't know which one that is, I'll put it in the Team Heart United after this as well. And then we have emeralds. So this is my hubby. He's a cautious person. I'm the optimist. He's the pessimist. And this is 35% of the population. Their strengths are that they are really loyal. They are facts and figures people. They're very organized. They're detailed. They're very predictable. They love systems and they love the science. They're not going to be able to get enough of the science. So they're going to do it their way. And they're going to need you to allow them to do this. If you come across salesy, they will just slam dunk you. So they will analyze for quite a while. They can be quite critical, quite rude sometimes, aloof. Biggest skeptics going. My husband was like, what a load of rubbish. What a load of rubbish. For the first 2 months, as I placed it in his mouth every day, what a load of rubbish. But after 2.5 months, he became the biggest advocate of Protandim. He tells everyone he knows now, you need to go on this product, it's amazing. And he can nearly sell it better because he is such a non-salesy person that people really believe him. So he had to believe it when I see it. And that was him. And I think a lot of people out there are like that. So they tend to be lawyers, accountants, engineers, IT people, and I would say dentists as well. And they ask a lot of why questions. So if you're communicating with an Emerald customer, you make an appointment to see them or ring them and you don't be late. They will be there early. You will already have gone, if you are an Emerald distributor and you are going to see a Sapphire, you need to know that they may be 5 minutes late. And you need to not take that as a tick against them or anything like that. That's how they roll. So they will already have gone into your website or the company's website, and they will have researched and know more about the company than nearly you do. Give them facts and figures. They do not like the hype, close to the market, That's not going to rock it for them. They will think that the Activate group is made up of stories. So let them know it was started by our team in Australia since last September, and they can get in touch with any of the people that are nearly on there to verify their story. That will give them assurance because they will be the ones that think, what a load of rubbish. They've paid a load of people money to actually put that stuff up there. You may even have a customer. It's so funny, so many of the people are writing. My husband's the Emerald, my husband's the Emerald. It's, yeah. Look, as I say, God's got a sense of humor. But they keep us grounded. They really do keep us grounded. And, they're really loyal. And when you've got them for life. These are amazing people to have in your business as well. Don't think that any one is anything better than the other. So they don't like being sold to, and they can sniff a salesperson a mile away. So just say to them, come back to me after you've done all your research. And they will probably have even signed up on your site without you even knowing it. So they're skeptics, so they normally sit on the fence for a while. I'm just going to watch all these people and let's see what happens. They don't want to be first to the market. They'd rather sit back and see what happens. But then they will decide to get on board. I would keep in touch, maybe briefly with them, sending them the odd testimonial, or if a new science article has come out, I would send that over to them. Now, a distributor of an Emerald, same again, make an appointment and don't be late. Have all your materials ready and a hard copy with you and keep a copy for them. They will already have gone onto your website and your companies, as I say, and know more about it. You need to validate why it works, but don't overstate it. Talk about the integrity of the company and the stability of the company, that it's on the NASDAQ, been around for 13 years, started as a retail company, tried online, didn't work, and then finally they found people-to-people distribution, because they're not really people-to-people, they're more facts and task-orientated. So you need to explain why this company became a people-to-people distribution. They will love PubMed, so maybe show them the area of PubMed, or you could send them to the website nrf2science.com to show them that it's an NRF2 activator. Our product is really competitively priced, which they will like, because they like to see that they're not being ripped off. They like to see that there's added value and that it's a good price. So they will like to see the value in the packs as well. And they want to know results people have had rather than how they felt on the product. So one of the things I'd like to just quickly share with you is really, you know, how do these different people kind of dress and what do they look like? So, you know, for instance, a Ruby. A Ruby will probably have designer clothes, really expensive shoes, because they're earning quite a bit of money. They, as I say, they won't like to be sold to. They like direct, short, sharp questions and answers. Sapphires tend to like one-off designs. They tend to have colors. Rubies will tend to just have quite plain colors, whereas the sapphire will be quite flamboyant. Like I would say Josephine is, you know, definitely a sapphire, out there at parties, dressing really funky, you know. And then you've got pearls, who can be quite reserved, but, you know, they may come across maybe a bit alternate, or they'll be into a lot of natural, a lot of hippies or a lot of pearls and things like that. Not saying that, Una, you're a hippie, but, you know, they will be quite reserved in their dress. And then emeralds are very reserved in the way they dress, the way they come across, the way they look. So just have a look out when you're speaking to somebody, just get a feel for who they are and what they might, and ask lots of questions. But you'll know a Ruby when you come to one. And a pearl, you know, just start looking out there and see, are they the quieter person? Are they a nurse? Are they a health practitioner? Because 9 times out of 10, they are going to be a pearl. So I hope you got a lot from this evening's training. And I hope it helps when you're actually speaking to somebody, because so many times people say to me, oh, I really, you know, I sent somebody so much information and I haven't heard back. And I'm like, oh my gosh, if you send me that much information, you'd never see me again. I said, I hate emails, hate big long emails with 20 links. That is just not what you would send a Sapphire. But, you know, I know other people would like that. So just ask them, what would you like from me? How would you like me to communicate with you? Would you like me to send you a text with maybe a link? Or would you like me to send you on Messenger? So just ask how they'd like to be communicated. They'll appreciate that. So any questions tonight, guys? Hope you all